Today we'll be giving a gameplay overview and review of the game Hoard, created by Tim Kingslin, Beck Veitch, and Julie Schiller, and published by Cheeky Parrot Games. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with To Die For Games. I'm Mandy, the board gaming pinup girl. My fellow hosts are
Tracy, the gaming maven.
And I'm Steph, the games teacher.
Are you strapped for time and you want to see one particular part of the video? Well, down below we've got timestamps to help you find that part you need to see.
We'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback, so please post a comment below. If you want to be advised when we post new content, click on that subscribe button.
Hoard plays in about 30 minutes, is suggested for ages 8 and up, and accommodates 2 to 6 players.
We've got Hoard all set up and ready to go, so let's get to it. Objective. Players attempt to gather treasure from the dragon's hoard, all while trying not to rouse the dragon, while defending attacks from fellow players. So Mandy, tell us what's inside the box.
Components: 3 dragon cards with 1 red and 1 blue side, 42 treasure cards which include coins, diamonds, rings, goblets, emeralds, and treasure chests, 8 dragon action cards including shh cards, bones cards, and choice cards, 3 sword and 3 shield cards, 6 player pawns, 1 custom die numbered 1 to 5, and a symbol, and the rulebook. All right, now that we know what we were playing with, how do we set up? Tracy?
Setup. Arrange the dragon cards blue side up in the center of the table. Shuffle the remaining cards together, taking out the cards with a feather symbol if playing with less than 6 players. Place the treasure cards surrounding the sleeping dragon so that there are 12 on the table. Each player draws 5 cards as their starting hand. Each player will then select a pawn, look at one of the 12 treasure cards on the table, and place their pawn on the top of that card. Now that we're all set up, how do we play? Stephane?
Gameplay. Players take turns performing a single action per turn from the following. 1. Rolling and moving. On their turn, players roll the die and move that many spaces either clockwise or counterclockwise from their current spot. If the symbol is rolled, players can announce and move any number of spaces up to 5 in either direction or stay where they are. They then get to look at the card that they have landed on. They can choose to take that card and replace it with one from the draw pile, or choose to take the top card from the draw pile instead. Note, the player can look at the card that is replacing the one they took from the table. 2. Securing treasure. Players can play a set of matching treasure cards from the 5 types of treasure. The initial set must be a total of 3 treasures. Note that some cards have double items, so count as 2 of the 3 required. Players can play a shield with a sword that was previously laid down. Alternatively, a shield can be used to take someone's unpaired sword. 3. Affecting the dragon. Play one of the action cards. Shh cards turn over a red waking dragon card back to blue. Bones cards allow a player to turn a blue card to the red waking side of the dragon card. Choice cards allow you to choose either option. Note: when playing action cards, the player must turn dragon cards over from tail to head when waking, and from head to tail when sleeping. 4. Playing a sword or shield. When playing a sword card, the player will choose which opponent they are attacking. If they are holding a shield card, they reveal it to capture the active player's sword. Otherwise, the active player may either A. Take one of that opponent's cards, B. Give that opponent one of their own cards, C. Or do both. So what happens at the end of a round? Mandy?
End of a round. The round ends when either the dragon cards have all been turned red side up, including that the dragon has been woken up. The last card is drawn from the draw pile, or a player begins their turn with no cards in hand. If a player finishes with no cards in hand, their opponents get one more turn each, or pass that player's sword card to lengthen the round. Players will then score their hands. Each treasure is worth 1 point. Cards with 2 treasure symbols are worth 2. Sword and shield pairs are worth 1 point. Deduct 1 point for each treasure card still in hand, or 2 points if it is a double card. The player with the most points takes a number 2 score token, and second place takes a number 1 token. So how does the game end? Tracy?
Game end. The first player to reach 5 or more points in tokens wins. Oh yeah, and let's not forget the 6-player variant. Add the cards with a feather symbol. One of these cards is a crown. When the crown is played, that player announces the name of another player. At the end of the round, the player with the crown scores 3 more points, and the named player scores 2 more points. So that is how you play Hoard.
So now we're ready to give our review of the game Hoard. What do you guys think?
I love dragons, and I love gold. That's all I need to say.
I liked the game. It was fairly simple mechanics, but it worked. It was a lot of fun. I felt like it made me feel like I was a character in The Hobbit.
It did. I didn't want to admit that.
Delving
but it really
into
did.
Smaug's hoard of treasure.
All right, that's a little deep for where I was going, but sure, that works. I enjoyed the game. It was good. We're going to get into a little bit more detail about some of the other things. Something to note, this was previously on Kickstarter and it was funded, so other people did share our opinion of the game. So that leads us into artwork and theme.
It's very colorful. And I like the way they made the sleeping dragon blue and it was sleeping in red when it was awake. So you could really tell where you were at with that.
Yeah.
The art on the different treasure cards was very, the colors were very distinct, very obvious, the shapes and the symbols that they used. It worked really well for the type of game that it is.
So the artwork and theme for me was the colors and the ideas were nice. Now, this is not a finished product, so I'm hoping it just a little bit more detail too. Do you know what I mean? I found it a little simple.
The artwork was very two-dimensional, kind of just like flat.
Right.
Artwork.
So I hope that's something that changes with the final product. So that to me would appeal to me. Quality of components, again, this is kind of hard to talk about because it's not a completed game, but it's cards. So we would hope that it's...
The card seemed okay. The pawn seemed okay. We were a little confused about that 6-player pawn until we figured out it was actually a 6-player game, but it was all good.
So I agree, the quality components was all right for a prototype game. That's about what we expect.
Yeah, so we'll hope that those become a thicker grade of card, but we'll see when the final product comes out. Game mechanics.
So this game is fairly simple in its mechanics, so it'd be great for a family to play. You know, if you like lighter games, you're going to enjoy it. Otherwise, there's not a lot to it. It's like you roll a die, you move around, you pick a treasure, you play treasure, something like that. It can be a little bit more competitive if you're doing a lot more of the sword, shield attacking, but I didn't find that necessary for gameplay.
Right.
I agree with everything she just said. You covered it all, I mean.
Apparently.
Oh, I mean, talking about the dragon, I found that, how did you guys find those cards? You know, the cards that awoke the dragon, and then you could put it back to sleep. So I guess that kind of was neat because then you can control when you wanted the game to end if you had the correct cards. So that was kind of neat. But then I was like, oh gosh, is this going to go back and forth the entire game? It didn't. So
It didn't. I can see how that could happen. So we were lucky when we played it. We were fairly balanced in our decision of when we ended the game.
I didn't play any of those dragon action cards. I mean, I had a couple in my hand and I just sloughed them off and never used them. So it was all you two controlling when the dragon woke up. I mean, let the guy sleep. No, he's thousands of years old. Maybe he needs his beauty rest.
more exciting. Similar games. I was at a loss for this one.
Actually, there's one that came to my mind.
Okay.
And it's one that we reviewed a while back, Hammer and Anvil.
Oh, yeah.
Similar art.
Yeah.
Similar in depth of play.
Right.
Similar artistic styles.
Yeah.
related themes,
Right.
dwarves mining for stuff. It evoked that for me.
Okay.
It's a different type of set collection, so something similar to things like Splendor, but different mechanic, but you've got that whole set collection. And you're kind of forced, like especially if you have to play 3 cards to start with,
Right.
to get a set out. It's tricky sometimes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, when you play, I forgot about that. That's true. So, whatever they said. Because I can't think of a game off the top of my head, so that would probably be, we'll just agree with them. So, final thoughts. Let's start over with Stephane this time.
I enjoyed the game. I didn't win. I think it was one of you two that won the game, but
I thought it,
yeah, it was
there you go.
Tracy.
I'm like, it wasn't me, so.
I didn't collect enough treasures. I didn't make enough sets, and a couple of my cards that I saw and were revealed to me got poached by other players before I could get there. But that's just the way it rolls. I enjoyed the game. It was fun. I would play it again. We missed out on the Kickstarter campaign. Hope to maybe find a copy retail once it gets to retail market.
I would get it for one of those games that could be a good wind down. It's a very light enough game that you could play after a heavy game. So that's
Right.
what I would buy it for.
Yeah. So for me, I liked it. So it's not, I'm not saying it's a bad thing or it's amazing. I liked it. So it's a game I could pull out, oh, you know what, I have some free time. Let's try this, with colleagues at work or some friends who are maybe lighter gamers. Even my nephew, he probably really enjoyed it as well. So for me, overall, it was a like. So that's it. You guys anything else to add?
No.
No? So that's our review of Hoard. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.